This tutorial is a continuation of the previous tutorial from the Week 9 group project, Rates of Change, tab number 2, comparing the retirement of Asher and Brent. This one is going to be going into the equation portion versus the formula from Excel. Over here you'll see that I've brought up the interactive textbook with the equations so that we can just hurry and reference those quickly. Now the first one, again, I'm going to start with Brent since his is the easier calculation, and we'll just go through. He is making payments into an account for just a certain number of time. So the first thing I'm going to do is the fast way, and I'm just going to copy this, so Control or Command C depending on your computer, so that I have my formula over here, and then I'm going to do Control V or Command V to paste it, and then I'm going to run through everything in this just to make sure that all of the different operations copied correctly. So the first thing I've noticed is that the R and the N need to be divided, so I'm going to put divide. This needs to be put in the exponent, so I'm going to do Shift 6. And then again over here, the R and the N need to be divided. Now a few of the things that were not put in over here from the formula that I need to make sure are in this is that between the payment and the parenthesis, Excel needs to be told to multiply, even though we know it means multiply. Also here between the N and the Y, and I just noticed I also forgot to get this division in here for the compound fraction. Gonna run through this and make sure I have payment times quantity 1 plus R over N, raised all of this to the NY minus 1, end parenthesis divided by the quantity R divided by N. Okay, that looks good. So I have two options. I can copy this part and then just highlight and plug it in or cell reference these, or I can move to another one and type it all in by hand. I'm going to go with the easy route, and I'm just going to highlight this, copy, and then come into here and paste. And then inside of this, I'm going to highlight payment and then go select the cell for payment. And again, for the R, I'm just going to select the cell for the R, and the N here, select the N, and then I don't have to do a whole lot of thinking except just go find these numbers. Highlight the Y, and this one is going to be for 28 years. And again, the R, highlight it, go find the rate, and the N, and go find the N, and double check everything. It's looking good, so we're going to cross our fingers that it worked. Oh, something didn't happen right, so I'm missing, I see, this one here, and you'll see that it highlighted that. When I copied and pasted it over, it's actually an extended version of the dash. I'm going to delete that and just put a small dash in. That just happens in the copying and pasting over, so it'll probably happen for you as well, unless you change that in advance. That should fix it just by deleting it and putting it back in. There we go. And you can see that these two match, which means we calculated it correctly. And that's really convenient on an exam, just to make sure that you can double check your work. Over here, we're going to have to go through two different, since we're running out of room, I'm going to come over here. Yeah, I think I'll come here so that we can just calculate Asher's. So Asher does do the same process as Brent at the beginning. So I will use this same formula here, this first part, and I can copy it up here in the address bar or down here. And I'm going to copy and paste here. And again, I'm just like I did with Brent, I'm going to highlight these and just replace them with the cell referencing over here. You're more than welcome to skip forward a little bit in the video if you'd like to, since I'm just going to be highlighting all of the things that we did like we did with Brent. Month. This part, years, is a little different since he's only making these payments for 12 years. And then over here, rate again, divided by N here, and everything. Oh, and Don't forget, I know that that didn't copy over correctly before, so I'm going to fix it right now and make it a subtract sign instead of a longer dash. I think everything else looks good. We're going to press enter, and this should match. Yep, it does match exactly right here. Now I'm going to take this part and put it into the next formula, which is this one, which has the present value but no payments. And just like I did before, I'm going to highlight all of this and copy and paste over here. And I'm going to go through and edit by putting a multiplication in between there, a division between r and n. Make sure that this goes into the exponent, Shift 6, and that n and y are being multiplied. Everything looks good. I could just substitute. I can type in the numbers, but I really like cell referencing. So I'm going to take this and copy just like we did before, but you are more than welcome, if you would like, to just type in these numbers. Cell referencing is so much faster and helps me prevent typos. Also, I can double check as I go through, and if something changes just slightly, I could just go back and change this number and it'll change all my calculations, which is really convenient. So the present value for Asher is starting with what we ended with after the 12 years, this 81,000. The rate is still the same, and so is the n. So is this n. But this year, right here, is the second time, the second portion of our calculation, which is 28 years. And pressing enter will give me the final after all of his years, which is the 500,000. All right, and that's how you can do it with the equations if you would like to do that versus the future value, or if you just want some extra practice with the equations.